Hello guys, today we have a package from Portugal. We got this package from Francesco from the Vinha dos Padres winery, and we are really excited because I think we have some really special wines here, so let's unbox it. So it looks like we got 3 bottles. First bottle. Okay, so I think this is their red wine, really limited. As you can see, there is only 1,063 bottles, and this is the 836th bottle. Okay, this is, wow, this is their 2023 vintage, and it's probably unreleased, so it doesn't even have a label. Wow, that's a really special opportunity. And I would guess that this is going to be their white wine, the 2022. Yes, 2022. So let's begin and taste the wines. The Vinha dos Padres is a new winery, but their wines are over 120 years old, and they have many traditional Portuguese grape varieties. In the red blend, they have, I think, 10 grape varieties, and in the white blend, they have more than 13. So it's a really interesting cuvée, and it's a field blend, meaning that they harvested all the grapes together and vinified it together. The vinification process was also quite interesting. In the meantime, I'm going to start opening it. The vinification process was also quite interesting. They processed and harvested everything manually, so there were no machines involved. The grapes were fermented in amphoras, in traditional terracotta amphoras, and macerated for 4 months. Interestingly, they macerated both the red and the white wine in the amphoras for 4 months, so it is going to be a really extracted deep wine, as we can expect. I'm going to try to Coravin it through the wax. Never tried this with the Coravin through the wax, but let's see if it works. It looks like it works, and let's taste it. So the first wine is going to be their 2022 white wine, as I've said, from more than 13 grape varieties. The winery was founded by the Silveira Cantemario di Quadri family in 2020, and they released their first vintage in 2022, and we received the 2023, which is unreleased, so I'm really excited about that as well. But let's begin with the 22. As I said, the wines are 120 years old, but it is quite an old vineyard in the Alentejo wine region, and there are written mentions about this vineyard from the beginning of the 18th century. So the color is very beautiful, amber, deep color, as we can expect from such a long maceration process. 4 months on the skin for white grapes is quite unique, so this is technically a traditional method orange wine. Wow. This is really exciting. It's a lot fresher than I have expected. It is still really fruity and citric. This region is a cool climate region. The vineyards are quite high in altitude, around 500 meters, and it has a strong Atlantic effect on the vineyard as well, so that probably explains this very crisp, fresh aroma, but you can also feel the maceration and the deep, some kind of nutty characters, even some beeswax characters. Really complex and deep aroma. Okay, so let's taste it. This is a really complex and well-structured wine. It is bone dry, very crisp, high acidity. At the finish, you can even feel some very slight and pleasant bitter character, probably from the maceration and from the long skin contact, but it is really pleasant. Lots of citrus, walnut, lots of nutty characters, maybe a bit of roasted nuts, beeswax, and it has a very slight, like this fruity sweet aftertaste. It's not sweet, it's bone dry, but it has this, maybe some orange peel. I think it's orange peel. Very fresh, fruity aftertaste. That is a really exciting wine. Let's continue with the 2023. We don't really have any extra info about this wine. It was a surprise for us, but I would guess that it has the same technology and same variety combination. So let's taste this wine. It is a great honor to taste it before everyone, before releasing it. First impression, the color is a bit different, which is interesting because I would guess that the color, that deeper color in this wine was coming from the maceration process, not from the age, because 2022 is still young. This one is even younger, but I think this one is a bit lighter, which can be explained by the vintage, by the ripeness of the grapes and their skin. And maybe, as I said, we don't really know the technical sheet of this wine, so maybe the maceration was shorter in this case, but let's test it and then maybe we can tell. I would say that it has the same intensity, very, very similar character. So from this second vintage, I can say that the winery is on a good path. It's really consistent and the quality is up to the standard. But let's taste it. In the taste as well, quite similar style. Maybe it's a bit lighter, a bit more approachable, still quite long finish, similar nutty notes, characters, but I think it's a bit fruitier, more intense citric characters and less of the nutty ones. Don't get me wrong, it still has those stylistic aromas, but it is just a bit fresher, which is probably couldn't be explained by the age because both of them are quite young. And I think they have very bright future. I think you could sell out these wines, both of them, for 10, 15 years. After the 4 months of maceration, they were also aged in the same style of Amphoras for 1 year. And after that, they've been aged in bottle. The Amphoras were sealed with pine resin and beeswax, so it was an old traditional way of winemaking, which is really refreshing in this age. Okay, so I think we should move on to the red wine, which I'm also really excited about. So the red wine also has many, many different Portuguese grape varieties. The color is quite deep ruby, but not too dark. Okay, let's see. Wow, that is a really complex aroma. Very spicy, lots of different characters. Also has the red fruit character, but I would say that it is dominated by this spicy and tertiary characters. I can't really compare this wine to anything. It is really unique, which can be expected from the combination of grape varieties and the special winemaking technique. It is really fresh, probably due to the high altitude and the cooler climate. Lots of fresh fruit, wild cherries, very slight plummy character, cloves, and a very slight peppery finish. On the palate, fresh acidity, similar to the white, very intense tannins. I would say this wine can be aged for a very long time. It is very well structured. It is already enjoyable, very fruit forward, but it has the deepness and the tannin structure to support it for a long time. Very long finish, 5, 6, 7 seconds. After you swallow it, you can still feel the taste. I would say that the tannins are just a bit unripe at the moment. I think the perfect drinking window would be after at least 6-7 years, but after 10 years, this wine would be just in the perfect condition. But as I said, for many, many years, this will age beautifully. Okay, so I think we should rate these wines. I would rate the first wine, the 2022 white wine, 91 points, the 2023 90, and the 2022 red also 91 points. Really promising wines.
Back and I'm better than ever. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I get